After completing Vampire The Masquerade 2, I put together a list of 10 things I wish I knew before starting. Like, did you know you can permanently expand your health bar by finding and collecting the secret graffiti hidden across the city rooftops? Each time you find and collect one, it boosts your maximum health slightly, which is actually essential to do on the harder difficulties. The easiest way to find them and the other collectibles in the game is just to pay attention to the small reticle in the center of your screen. If it turns into a small circle, it's going to indicate to you that you're nearby something you can discover, and the circle will then get bigger when you're looking in the right direction, and then again when you move closer towards it. Normally they're painted up on walls near the rooftops. So if you open up the Vampire site, you'll be able to see the graffiti marked in blue, and then you can use the Telekinesis ability to absorb it permanently, as well as getting 100 experience points each. Tip number 2, mastering vampire movement. So you probably already know that you can use Vampire Sight to run up the walls and guttering, which is conveniently highlighted in yellow and gets you up on the city rooftops. But the game doesn't actually tell you early on that if you hold down the dodge button, you can sprint and double jump off ledges. And it even gives you a huge speed boost when gliding, so you can navigate the rooftops without ever touching the ground. And obviously it's also amazing for setting up those aerial assassinations. Just make sure that you don't vampire sprint past the peasants on the ground, in case you break the masquerade. Tip number 3. Every vampire has access to the Telekinesis power, and it is one of the strongest abilities in Vampire The Masquerade 2. It can be used to instantly take out enemies by just pulling them off rooftops to their death, or even setting them up for a gentle push off the ledge. You can even pick up blunt objects from the ground and send them hurtling into enemies to take them down. It also works fantastically well for stealth since it doesn't make a sound. Or you can grab a boomstick and spend the clip into oncoming enemies to make short work of them. So definitely make sure you use it, because every vampire has access. Tip 4, brawling. Now the fastest way to die in Vampire The Masquerade 2 is to get surrounded in a brawl. So you want to make sure that you're constantly dodging left, right, and especially backwards, or even sprinting away to reposition away from all the enemies as they try and group up on you. I've personally found the best way of taking on groups of foes is to dodge backwards and then follow it up with a punch or a drop kick that knocks down multiple enemies, and even clears up some room for feeding on them so you can heal yourself. Although some clans do have abilities that offer powerful area of effects that instantly take down every enemy around you. For the rest of us though, dodging and sneaking is your best friend. Tip number 5. What happens if you break the masquerade? All vampires obey the law of secrecy to keep their society hidden from humanity. So naturally or unnaturally, flying through the air and feeding on humans can risk breaking the masquerade. Minor infractions like inhumanly fast movement, triggering the green meter to fill up to yellow, where humans will then become suspicious of your actions. And getting caught feeding on them can make the masquerade meter fill up rapidly into red. At this stage, the police are now actively pursuing you. So to survive, you'll need to break line of sight and reach the safety of the rooftops. However, if the red meter reaches the top, the Camarilla sect of vampires will send an assassin to stake you in your heart from behind. Tip number 6, vampire clans and unlocking the other clan abilities. So right at the start of the game, you pick your vampire clan, and this is one of the most important decisions in Vampire Masquerades 2, since you're basically picking your main playstyle. Stealthy, combat, or sorcery focused, or maybe even a mix of both. Now, I've already done a video going into detail about how each clan playstyle works, which I'll link below. But after you've been playing the game for a bit, you're probably wondering, what if you want to grab your favorite abilities from the other vampire clans and combine them together? Well, let's go over exactly how to do that. In this example, I am playing as the Bruja clan, and I can buy all of my clan abilities for just a few ability points. So you can max it out in just a few hours of gameplay. However, if you want to unlock the abilities and perks from the other clan skill trees, it's going to cost between 6 to 12 ability points each to unlock, unless your clan has an affinity for those ability types and get celerity, presence, or potence abilities for a reduced cost. So instead of paying 10 ability points, those only cost me 5. But before you can purchase other clan abilities, you must first unlock them through clan trainers. Now these trainers are located all over the world of Bloodlines 2, and they'll pop up after the first boss fight, which is a few hours into the main storyline. And all of these clans are highlighted on the map, and once you reach their haven, you can just go inside and talk to them, and then ask them to train you in their clan skill line. This opens up a new menu where you can select the ability that you want to unlock with training. But to actually unlock, you'll need Blood Resonance. This currency just here, which is split into pink, red, and blue. These actually represent different emotions. So you've got pink for aroused, blue for afraid, and red for angry. This brings me on to Blood Resonance and how to farm it. The easiest way to farm Blood Resonance is from NPCs scattered across the map, indicated by these pink, red, and blue icons. Depending what blood resonance you need, head to the location and find the NPC, but before you feed on them, make sure that nobody's around, because if you get spotted, you can break the masquerade. Now, the longer you feed on them, the more blood resonance you're going to farm from them. A complete feed gives you 100 resonance points. If you do get spotted while feeding in the yellow zone, I'd recommend cancelling it and fleeing up the pipes onto the safety of the rooftops. It is useful to have a nearby alleyway or an exit strategy planned before you feed. You can also use the vampire sight, which highlights all of the rooftop access pipes in yellow to make your escape really easy. But you don't actually need to go around the map looking for these little icons to find NPCs' blood resonance to feed on. Alternatively, by using the vampire sensors, you can find highlighted NPCs in different states of emotion, and they will appear in red, pink, and blue. And all of these NPCs can be talked to and interacted with. You want to make the red ones angry, and then they will chase you and try and fight you. So if you run into a nearby alleyway where nobody can see you, you can then feed on them to drain them of their blood resonance. You'll need to say something scary to the blue ones to make them run, and then feast on them when they run out of sight into the shadows or down a dark alleyway where you won't get spotted. Finally, you can tell the pink ones that you're up for a good time, and they will willingly then follow you, and you can lead them into an alleyway or a dark corner where you'll be able to strike. Once you've unlocked that clan ability, you'll then need to spend your ability points to actually use it. And you will also need to swap out one of your other abilities, since you can only have 4 abilities active at once. However, to unlock the clan's perk at the very top of the skill tree, you will need to unlock all of the other clan abilities first, which will take quite a long time. As for the clan passives, they are exclusive to each clan. Which brings me on to tip number 9, unlocking clan outfits. Unlocking those different clan abilities also unlocks the different clan outfits, and NPCs will react differently based on whichever clan outfit you're wearing, which can make the different blood resonances easier to farm. Now, before we get on to tip number 10, I probably should mention that a lot of the game mechanics are explained in the Codex. This is where you're going to find all of your collected notes, which provide additional context about the world around you, the lore, and a few useful tips and tricks on the game. Beyond that, though, it doesn't really explain things to you. It doesn't spell it out as you're playing. So, surprisingly, I actually do recommend reading the Codex. And now we have tip number 10, because obviously to unlock all of these different different abilities from the other clans, you're going to want to level up your character as quickly as possible. And the fastest way to level up, especially early on, is just by beelining the main storyline. But this may result in you missing some of the side quest content, because like I mentioned earlier, there are 6 clan informants scattered across the city havens who can offer clan contracts to you after you've progressed the main story far enough. However, make sure that you don't skip the side quests because they are in fact missable. So if you progress the main story without completing them, the game does kind of warn you very subtly, but missing out on those side quests means you won't build relationships with those NPCs, and most importantly, you'll miss out on big chunks of experience that you get from doing the side quests, which obviously gives you more ability points that you can then use to purchase those other clan skill lines. Also, without spoiling anything, after you get to that point in the storyline, you'll now get experience for killing off enemy ghouls that you can find across the rooftops of the city. And they do constantly respawn, so if you run across the rooftops and look out for enemies with vampire sight, you'll be able to take them out for some extra experience. Collecting the graffiti marks and codex items will also give you around 100 experience each time. And feeding on NPCs will give you 10 experience, but at that point you're kind of grasping at straws. And this is really why your initial clan choice is so important, because it dictates your main playstyle throughout your playthrough. And that's why you should check out this video here on how to find the best clan for your personal playstyle.